global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. The way Peter Obi is getting endorsements in unlikely areas is not only overwhelming; it's alarming as well. Well, should I say that our politicians already have an idea of what good leadership is, but they have decided to turn a blind eyes to it, or could it be that it's a party thing and they are not permitted to speak outside party lines? But from all indication, Nigerians have decided to speak, and politicians are also have decided to open up on the true state of affairs and truly, if they are to vote, who they will truly vote for. Some chieftain titles of most parties have decided to make bold statement of who probably or who truly is Peter Obi and what Nigerians stand to gain or lose if they don't vote in Peter Obi. Let's go straight into the news proper to find out who this chieftain of political chieftain is and what he's saying about the fate of Nigerians. Well, according to the news, a PDP lawmaker representing East and Northeast Southeast Federal Constituency of Edo State, Honorable Sigios Ogun, has spoken on the state of political preparations ahead of the 2023 general elections. During an interview, the vocal politician, who is also a lawyer, condemned both the ruling All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party for not allowing statutory delegates to vote in the concluded primaries, while noting that Peter Obi made a good decision by defecting to the Labour Party. Honorable Sigios Ogun also remarked that Peter Obi would have been humiliated if he had remained in the PDP to the primaries. He opined that the former Anambra state would not have been any match to Atiku or Wike, yes on Wike. He didn't have the war chest and he is a private businessman. He served as a governor and he showed the world what he can do. So why does he need to go and break the bank just to become a candidate of a political party? He's asking. People should be begging him to become the candidate because we can see clearly that he has the footprints to take this country to the desired height. When asked if he believes in Peter Obi's presidential bid, he confessed that he is actually supporting him because he has listened to him and also read much about him. The politician said Obi is the kind of person Nigeria needs right now. Sigios Oni further mentioned that Peter Obi should have no problem with structure if youths are determined, as he noted that the EndSARS protest shows how the young people can be very organized. The lawmaker also stood on his promise that he will consider leaving the People's Democratic Party if they fail to zone the presidential ticket to the south, which they did not. Sigios Oni has also suggested that the surge in permanent voters card registration was triggered by Peter Obi's defection to the Labour Party, and which to a great extent and a lot of Nigerians have been reacting to that effect. But what is amazing right now that is also trending is the fact that the Obi virus, yes, Fayose called it Obi virus. It is now infectious. Everybody is obedient supporter. Everybody is becoming obediently, registering for their voters card. Everything now is about obedient with OBI as the acronym. Well, as we speak, even little children are not left out. Well, according to another news, very quickly, still on the same matter. She was actually later asked whom her family members, the little girl was asked whom her family members would be voting for as the next Nigerian president. And she responded that they will all be voting for Peter Obi, a little child. Everybody's obedient, even little children. Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State and the presidential candidate for Labour Party, have decided to become the president of Nigeria via the platform of Labour Party. And the video has been trending where a little child have decided that all her family members will become obedient and they all will be voting for Obi. Sorry, we may not be able to take the video because of the platform's policy, but then Nigerians have been reacting. This is quite interesting that the politician of great repute, a PDP politician for that matter, is telling Nigerians the truth. Don't forget, it all began with the same Edo State, Obaseki, Godwin Obaseki, saying everybody is becoming obedient, even his family members around his area is becoming obedient. That the youth have woken up, and if NSAS, the process of NSAS is what we're going to see here, Obi does not need the structure. The structures are human. Obi structures, you'll be surprised. Everybody will become polling unit agents. Everybody. Everybody will be attentive. They will follow their votes. The only way they can stop this thing technically from going haywire, the way I'm perceiving that it may go with NSAS, is for the youth not to be allowed to register as much as they can. Because if all Nigerian youth register and they are not divided and they follow the mantra of hashtag NSAS, hey, if Obi does not win, we'll ask what went wrong. Except, of course, there will be another dimension of rigging that does not meet the eye. Every day things keep, we keep having hybrid of so many tactics of electioneering in Nigeria. Sometimes it is actually some of this hybrid are, or produce innovated in Nigeria. Like what INEC officials said, they said this issue of placeholder, there is not even in the law of the electoral law in Nigeria, but it is just coined, innovated, and brought in by the politicians, the aspirant themselves. There's nothing like placeholder in their form, but they have decided to call it placeholder. So, which means, as we keep evolving, innovative ideas of how to make your candidate win keeps coming. So the youth have to be super alert, and follow that. But for the now, a whole lot of Nigerians have not registered. I can assure you, a lot of Nigerians before now have been aloof over the issue of becoming voting, because they just believe their vote don't count. But right now they're ready to follow their vote and they want it to count. The question now is how they will get registered before the deadline. And now, to make it very interesting, Obaseki talked about obedience. Now another lawmaker in Edo State is talking about obedience, and he's telling Nigerians, say, look, we should even be grateful. We should be begging Peter Obi to come to become a candidate and to even become a president, because he has what it takes to change the narrative. A lot of Nigerians have reacted. We're going to take one or two and we'll probably wrap this up very quickly. This one here is saying there's still hope for this country because there are still few honest people who value the country more than their gains of. Another person here is saying, may God touch northern eyes to see that PO is the person Nigeria need at this time. Well, actually, the likes of Akim Baba, the chieftain publicity secretary to NAF, Northern Elders Forum, had actually said something about it, and he's saying that if we can stop this issue of ethnic coloration of Peter Obi, that Peter Obi actually have what it takes, that it's not a bigot, all right, has what it takes really to change the narrative for Nigeria and probably unite Nigeria with a lot of his innovative ideas. So yes, some northerners are beginning. It's a gradual process. It's a wave. It doesn't have to. It's bit by bit to get in there. Bit by bit, people are noticing that maybe amongst the lot he's quite different, and you don't force it. You don't shove it on people's throats. You let them know. You educate them of the benefit of having someone like him to become president. You don't insist that they should vote. That way they will even repel. Okay, everybody have what we call choice, freedom of choice to choose the candidate of their choice. But please, let's not vote on ethical lines. Let's not vote on religious lines. Let's not also vote on religious lines, so that on even regional lines, so that we can get the best. All right, that's we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. What's to take? Do have a nice time. God bless you. I guess it will be through this virus. Let's interact.